Hey, out here on my back porch hanging out with my dog. I wanted to, explain something to you guys um, that I think is really relevant. If you grew up without a father in your life, if you grew up without a man in your life as a woman, then it is very difficult for you to understand how to exist around a traditional provider male. My daughter and I were going to the park. We go to the park, you know, 3 times a week, right? And while we're walking there, she's using my arm as a swing. She's climbing up my body. She's 8 years old, right? We're laughing, we're talking, we're holding hands. She grabs my arm, puts it around her shoulder, all of those different things, right? And the reason that she does that is because she counts on my strength to carry her, to be able to yank and jump on me. She's used to having a strong, dominant, powerful man around her who also corrects her behavior. We were talking. She's telling me her ideas. I was listening, asking her questions to get her to expand on certain concepts. Other things that she talked about, I corrected her as she spoke, right? And we had this deep, meaningful conversation about what was going on for her with her friends and how she should be looking at it, and how to deal with people who don't behave the way you want them to behave. you know and so, because she had that conversation with me and we were in that space together, I could imagine her walking with her husband, being free and feminine like she was doing, being a little girl around her dad, and still able to receive correction without resisting, still able to have somebody guide her and lead her without it needing to be a fight. And it made me think about how most of the women that I'm arguing with on TikTok, and I hop into my comment section and respond to my videos, a lot of them were raised without a healthy relationship with a traditional provider male. And that's why they don't know how to talk to us. That's why they don't know how to deal with us. That's why they don't know how to retain us. And it's sad because a lot of them, they're attractive enough to have sex with, and because we're men, we still sleep with them, but we don't want them for anything long term. And they think that's because that's all men want. It never occurs to most of them that after sleeping with them, that the men make the determination that, hey, it's fine to sleep with this woman, I enjoy that, but in terms of a long-term meaningful relationship with her, I know she doesn't know how to do that. She argues too much. She's too combative. She's too disagreeable. She isn't helpful. She thinks she's in charge. She thinks she's in control. She doesn't want to follow any guidance. She doesn't want to follow any leadership. So as a leader, I'm not looking to beat somebody into submission. Dominating a person is not leading a person. Leadership is a relationship of cooperation. Somebody has to agree to follow. They qualify you as a leader, right? And then they choose to follow you because they believe in your judgment and your character. But what the women do is they sexually submit to guys that they catch a vibe with, and then turn around and say, well, this guy was a bad leader, so all men are bad leaders. This is all fucking stupidity, obviously, right? It's a stupid way to think about the world. It's a stupid way to think the world works. But a lot of them think this way because it removes the responsibility of the fact that they made a short-term decision based off of satisfying themselves and had some long-term effects based off of that, and that they're responsible for that because they chose what satisfied them instead of what they needed to be looking for. The guys that are just looking to have sex with you and don't want anything else from you, they're going to tell you whatever you want to hear too. The problem is, you're really not supposed to be responsible for picking your husband. Historically, since the beginning of time, your father was. Your father knows other men's bullshit. If your mother chose a good father, right, and you guys have this, history in your family of men choosing the men that are going to join the tribe, then they're picking good sons. The men are picking good sons, and they're picking good husbands for their daughter more times than they're not. But see, a lot of you guys have watched these romance movies and romance comedies, this Romeo and Juliet, going against the parents, going against the father, choosing the opposite of what he would want for you, so that you can, because that's your freedom, that's your power. Living my life in submission to a man that my father picked is hell, and they've set that up in your mind. But what was the result of Romeo and Juliet? They died. They had this flame that burned so bright, and it cost them both their lives. And I don't know if the story is more so that love is worth dying for, or that the cost of love, with respect to nothing else, is death. I'm not sure. But I'll tell you this, okay? The majority of you women, you think your life is a love story. And for men, most of us, our lives are not love stories. Our lives are stories about, work or accomplishment or responsibility, duty. This is how men go off and die in a war, because their life for them is not a story of love and their own satisfaction. Their life is duty or honor or responsibility. It's a life that's a story of self-sacrifice. Men are not telling themselves the same stories that you are about what their lives mean to them. Most of you are telling yourselves a story that you're the victim in some love story that's fucked up. But the truth of the matter is you're the author of your own destruction. So I said all of this to say that a lot of you guys aren't really taking accountability or responsibility for the effect you have on your life. And also that growing up without a father never socialized you to be around the type of man that you have genetically been evolved to pick, a dominant provider male. You don't know how to exist around us. You don't know what to do with us. You have no clue like what it is we want from women or what it is we want from the world, how to sit in the same room with us. You have no clue how to do that. And that's why you like these pander bear guys that you don't respect, you don't give sex to, but you love surrounding yourselves with these beta male orbiters. It's why when you do get a dominant male, the best you can do is fight with him until he gets sick of having sex with you and chooses somebody else because he's tired of your mouth, or put a baby on him before he leaves, right? Which a lot of you guys try to do. That's how Drake had the chick who put hot sauce in her cookie, right? You try to get pregnant so that you can secure access to his resources. And then we pretend like this isn't the playbook, which is fine, because it is what it is. The men know what's up. And it's unfortunate that women live in this dream world where they get to pretend like these types of women don't exist, where they get to pretend like this isn't something that men actually need to be careful about and look out for. But they tell their sons to look out for these hoes. They tell their sons. And then they turn around and have a conversation with a man over dinner and pretend like these bitches don't exist or they're not one of them. Absolutely nuts. In any event, I hope this made sense to you guys. The importance of your child growing up with a father in her life. Because when she does grow up, will she know how to be around the type of man that's going to love and keep and protect her for a lifetime? She's never done it. The first place she does it is with her father.